almost died. 5 things only Tobagonians would understand. My name is Devonne Adanna. I am coming to you from Tobago. If this is your first time here, I'm going to invite you to subscribe and tap the notification bell so that we don't miss each other. And go ahead and say I subscribe in the comments below so that I can give you a warm Tobago welcome. Today we're talking about the 5 things that only a Tobagonian would understand. Tobago only has a population of about 65,000 people, so there are a few of us, but there are certain things that when you do them or say them, many Tobagonians would understand exactly what this means. First on the list is stone pussy dress. Stone pussy dress could mean that you've dressed really nice and you look good. However, many times Tobagonians use it as a source of kind of throwing a little shade or being a little petty. And follow me here and see if you can understand what I'm talking about. Let's say your mom says, hey, I need you to go to the store for me. And you come out and you have on you just look good, right? She's probably going to say, is where you going stone pussy dress, sir? So it's usually something you say to kind of be like, oh, I didn't know it was that kind of party. I didn't realize that this is how we getting down today. So here's another example. When last you see Donovan, boy, I see him yesterday, stone pussy dress. He tell me he get a new work, right? Meaning he get a new job and he dressing for the party. He looking good. So stone pussy dress could kind of be used any of these 2 ways. Do not ask me how stone pussy dress come about. I don't know if people were dressing up to stone cats in the street. Not sure. But I just know it's a thing. And if you say it, any Tobagonian will know exactly what you're saying. Number 2 on the list is that Carnival Tuesday is for mud mass. And if your mud mass didn't have a beach at the end, then you really didn't play mud mass to begin with. Now, you may have heard of Trinidad Carnival, but you may not know that Tobago has Carnival at the exact same time. So during this, it's similar to Trinidad in that it is a carnival season, and we have revelry and costumes and everything the same on the Monday and Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. Mud Mass in particular is a feature of Juve throughout Trinidad and Tobago for Carnival. In the wee hours of the morning on Carnival Monday, people usually come out in old clothes or in really wild costumes. And when I say wild costumes, not the beads and bikinis that are usually associated with Carnival Monday and Tuesday. I'm more talking about gorilla costumes, masks with all sorts of crazy things on them, dinosaur, scream masks. It's really a time to kind of let your inhibitions free. Think about Halloween on steroids. But one of the features of Juve is mud mass. Mud mass is just an opportunity to cover yourself in mud and have fun on the streets. And Tobago, mud mass doesn't just occur during Juve, it occurs on Carnival Tuesday evening as well. So coming down to Carnival evening, you'll see people like about 4 or 5 o'clock getting mud on themselves and rolling through the streets of Scarborough. It is one of the most fun and enjoyable parts of Carnival. It's really a moment to just have a lot of wildness and really enjoy yourself. Now, not every Tobagonian is involved in mud mass or is involved in Carnival, but those who do take part in it have such an awesome time. And the best thing about doing mud mass is having a dip in the sea after. So one of the features of Tobago Carnival is that you're probably never more than 3 to 5 minutes away from the beach. So if you're doing Juve in Crown Point, if you're doing Carnival in Roxborough, if you're doing mud mass in Scarborough, you will be doing this with the backdrop of the beach behind you. It is a fantastic view, and you could just imagine the soca going and the revelry is on, and then the beach is behind you. And for mud mass, once you finish playing mud mass with all that mud on your skin, the best thing is to take a dip in the ocean. This is something that you will not find in any other mud mass. Definitely not in Trinidad, and certainly probably not even around the world. So all the carnivals that they have around the world, the mud mass with the beach at the end, you have to come to Tobago to find that. Number 3 on the list of things that only Tobagonians will understand is that Sundays are for church, harvest, and Sunday school. In pre-COVID times, Sunday will actually be a hub of activity on the island of Tobago. Of course, in the mornings, many people would go to church or whatever religious ceremony of worship that they would do on a Sunday morning. But then on Sunday evenings is for either for village harvest or Sunday school. I talked a little bit about village harvest in this video, so you could go ahead and check that out. But in essence, village harvest is an opportunity for a big village blocko. It's where we give thanks to the bounty of the harvesting season and we bless our produce to make sure that we continue to receive that bounty. Yes, some of these village harvests did have origins in the church, but today many of them tend to be more an opportunity for the village to come together to invite friends and family and strangers over to eat, drink, and be merry. A different village takes on the opportunity to host harvest, and it is a wild time. If you want to taste a lot of Tobago's local cuisine, definitely the village harvest is the best opportunity to do that. Sunday school is a non-church related village jam that takes place in the village of Buku. It is another awesome kind of blocko type session where you could enjoy freshly caught cuisine from lobster to fish, and you could also enjoy live music, craft. It is a very heavily tourist attended event, but locals definitely get in on the fun. You could hear pan playing, you could hear a lot of reggae and probably retro soca music. It's just a really nice time and another eat, drink, and be merry type of atmosphere. And of course, you're steps away from the ocean. It's one thing Tobagonians know, it's that Sundays is for church, harvest, or Sunday school. Number 4 on the list of things that only Tobagonians would understand is that a wake is as serious as the funeral. Wakes in Tobago could get really big and really serious pretty quickly. They could often be very large events depending on the personality of the person who died and whether or not the family wants to actually host the wake. There's a lot of food, there's live performances, and you have to have somebody who could really lead the wake, who understands the kind of hymns that could really mash up the wake. I mean, when I say large, I mean I'm talking police directed traffic, car parking around the person's house type big and lit. So it's really a time to meet and greet and to kind of be reflective, but in a more fun atmosphere. It probably is because in the old days, wakes were seen as adult entertainment. Kids were not even allowed at wakes. Some of the dancing that they would do and adult games that they would do were really pretty sexually aggressive and almost vulgar. But in today's Tobago, wakes are not so much of an adult affair. They're very much open to all. And again, another opportunity to really see Tobagonians in, yes, reflective time, but also fun moment. If somebody who is well known on the island has died and their family is hosting the wake, prepare to be there all night and prepare to have a good time. 5th on the list is that Tobago has 4 seasons. All right, okay, so we don't have 4 seasons. We have rainy season and dry season, but the atmosphere can make you feel like we have 4 carnival, it's Easter, it's heritage, and it is Christmas. Well, I talked a little bit about carnival, but what you should know about carnival is that it is not as frenzied as Trinidad carnival, but no less enjoyable. And we do have way more going on than just the mud mass. We have a lot of our own indigenous characters here, like speech band. We have Black Devils, which Shadow so famously captured in his song Pay the Devil. So carnival is on a smaller scale than Trinidad, but really full of fun and has its own type of vibe that if you're not into larger crowds or larger kind of frenetic pace, then Tobago Carnival is definitely something that should be on your bucket list. But when it comes to our Easter, Tobagonians take Easter very, very seriously. And for us, Easter is a 5-day event. We get the Good Friday, we get what is called Easter Monday, and we get what is called Easter Tuesday. It is a fantastic time in Tobago, filled with kind of sporting events such as goat racing or crab racing, and it's held in the villages of Mount Pleasant and Buku. Goat racing is actually almost 100-year-old tradition in Tobago. Every year, except for this year, because pandemic, we run goats similar to how you would run maybe like a greyhound race or like a horse race. It actually was birthed out of the fact that former slaves weren't really allowed into the horse racing events. They were for the 1% and the aristocracy on the island. So to form their own fun, they decided they would race goats. Now, we do not physically sit on the goat. There's a long rope attached to the goat's neck, and you have a whip, and you whip the goat runs, and whoever comes first, that is the winner. Yes, people bet on these goats, and it's just a fun time to see these big men running behind these goats. It's a very funny sight. It's a time of heavy competition. Another thing that we used to have a lot of, especially in Mount Pleasant, is greasy pole. So you'd see teams of men trying to climb to the top of a pole to get a prize. Tobago's goat racing was featured on the Amazing Race in October. I think it kicked off season 32. Next up is the Tobago Heritage Festival. Tobago Heritage Festival is an island-wide festival that is really meant to preserve the culture and the old-time way of doing things in Tobago. Almost nightly in July, people go from village to village experiencing different things. So sometimes it might be how we used to do weddings, or it could be how we used to make certain meals, or how carnival used to be. Each village is kind of tasked with creating an event around a particular thing. It is very deeply cultural, and people in Tobago take it very seriously. It is a time when our arts and our performers are really on show and is treated as its own season unto itself. Lastly, we have Christmas. Christmas in Tobago is very much a typical Caribbean Christmas. Christmas is not a day in Tobago, it is a season. Some of the foods that you're gonna get are ham, black cake, actually all types of cakes, sorrel, ginger beer, and all the other makings of a righteous Caribbean Christmas feast. There are lots of house limes, and the air is cool and crisp. Nighttime also comes in pretty quickly, starting from about 6 o'clock, but it's just a light and fun atmosphere. In recent times, gift giving has kind of gotten more popularity, but that is not a requirement. Are there things that only people from your island, town, village, country would understand? Tell me in the comments and like this video. If you enjoyed this little trip to Tobago via the 5 things that only Tobagonians would understand, I think you would enjoy this video on the 5 Tobago eats I miss now that I am on a journey to get to 145 pounds.